Greetings, fellow outsiders, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright, the AceAttorney Trilogy. I am really enjoying the series. I hope you guys are too. We're gonna get back into this case and solve it like a real lawyer / detective would do. Here we are, October 18th, 10 a.m., District Courtroom number 4. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. The prosecution will show the court at 2:30 p.m. on October 15th the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, killed fellow actor Jack Hammer in the Studio 1 of Global Studios. It is impossible for anyone to have committed this heinous crime. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to this fact. I see. Very well, I would like to move on to some testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness. Very well, I call a most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. I love Gumshoe, look at him. He's so confused all the time. Detective, if you would briefly describe this case to the court. Yes, sir. I'll explain with a guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio, see? This here is the employee area. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. This is the main gate to the studios. The security lady that works at the studios was here at 1:00 p.m. on that day. Past the security station, there is a gate, see? Past that are the studios. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder where the body was found. Now, on the day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Will Powers, and a young woman, the production assistant. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. There goes the victim to Studio 1. Then after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. Right after that, at 1:00 p.m., the security lady got to the guard station. Now jump ahead to later that day, 5 p.m. The production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was canceled. Because of a murder! The time of death was 2:30 p.m. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest with the murder weapon. That's a case in brief. Anyone like to hear that again? Should I listen to that whole thing again? Skip it or listen again? I feel like I got the gist of it. Did you guys? Are we going to be able to press him on it if we have to listen to it again? Let's just skip it. I feel like we got the idea of it. I think I can probably remember that. So the murder weapon was a spear. How medieval. Samurai spear added to the court record. The spear was found stuck in the chest of the victim. Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question. And that question is, what did the security lady at the guard station see? Understood. Let's call this security lady officer to the stand. I love you, Edgeworth. What? Will the witness declare their name? This is me every time Edgeworth is on screen.
Oh, my, aren't you a handsome fellow? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered.
Your name, please.
Oh, dearie, no need for you to be embarrassed. Just call me Grandma.
Your name, please. Seems Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting his witnesses to say their names.
Wendy Oldbag, dearie. So just call me Grandma anytime. So when I was young, I wasn't really much of an old bag. Still have the other children. Oh, do you believe it? But there was this boy kept in the chest even to call me old bag. Well, I just cried.
Objection! I object to the witness's talkativeness. Objection sustained. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand.
I was just getting to the good part, dearie.
Perhaps we can get to the testimony. Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct?
Yes, yeah, I was.
And to get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you.
Oh, you know your stuff, dearie.
You may begin your testimony. She sure is one hell of an old bag. Phoenix!
Witness testimony. On On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 o'clock p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run-through since the morning. I had some errands to run that morning. Anyways, it was 1 o'clock when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5. Now, the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 o'clock p.m. It was Powers, the man right there, and he was heading towards the studio.
You saw the defendant then? Very well, let's begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Cross-examination. Let's do it, baby. The first thing I want to ask is, I want to press on the errands. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 o'clock p.m. Poor old Hammer had been doing a run-through since morning.
I had some errands.
What were the errands, Miss Oldbag? What kind of errands?
Well, you know.
Answer the question.
Actually, I was watching poor Hammer and Powers, observing, you know.
Observing? Weren't you supposed to be at the guard station?
Whippersnapper, I told you I locked the gate, didn't I? I did my job.
I'm not sure your boss would see it that way.
Anyway, I always watch Hammer's run-throughs. Always. Never missed one in all my years. Wow, I want to see a Steel Samurai run-through too.
You could quit being a spirit medium and take up guard duty.
Not a bad idea. Anyways, it was 1 o'clock when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from there until 5. Now, the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? Interesting to me because I saw a certain man walk right by me at 2 o'clock p.m.
I have a feeling I have to press these because remember we got the picture and it didn't like explicitly show Hammer. It showed Hammer in his costume. So I'm going to press on these. Hold it. 2 o'clock, you're sure?
Sure as spit.
Well, who was the man?
Oh, really? You should try not to get so excited at your age. You might strain something. Now, don't get your skeevies all in a bunch. I'll tell you who it was. It was Powers, that man right there, and he was heading towards the studio.
Hold it! Oh, do I have to show the picture? Maybe that's what I have to do. So you saw Powers.
That's what I said. Got wax in your ears, Sonny. Nick, this is your chance.
Yeah, time to pull out a secret weapon.
I'll say it again. It was him. It was Powers, that man right there, and he was heading towards the studio.
Okay, I think that was my subtle clue to pull out this picture. Let me get this straight, Oldbag, or Miss Oldbag. You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. That's right. What is this exactly? None other than the Steel Samurai, defender of Neo Old Tokyo. Miss Oldbag! Is this the Mr. Powers that you saw?
No, of course. Didn't your mama teach you any sense, Sonny? Anyone can plainly see that's Powers, right?
No, they can't. Well, I mean, I wonder. True, Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai. But that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai.
Yeah, I know that. I wasn't born yesterday.
No one in this court is accusing you of that, witness. He's having trouble calling her Oldbag, apparently. However, you do not have proof that the person in this photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you?
Oh, nosy old man. Of course I have proof.
What? Huh? Even Edgeworth is surprised. The prosecution would like to ask the witness, please make known all the information in your possession ahead of time.
How was I to know everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me, this isn't any good as evidence, pal. He didn't even give it a second look.
Wow, Old Windbag has left even Edgeworth speechless. She's good. Let's hear about your proof then. Witness testimony. The man in the photo. Let's do it.
I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. That morning during the run-through of the action scene,
I saw Powers trip and fall.
He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad.
Now, look at that picture.
You can see he's dragging his leg, see? Clear as day. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy?
No. I don't think so. So he had a sprained ankle. Very well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. She's gotta be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals. Please don't. Cross-examination. The man in the photo. I never saw anything I don't mean, mind you. I have a feeling I have certain ones I want to press. So instead of pressing on every single one, I'm gonna go... During run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. I might press on this one, and then also the one where they broke the prop, because which prop was it? Hold it. Trip and fall.
Yes, and to think he's supposed to be the Steel Samurai. What a laugh. So Powers sprained his ankle. I helped make it better for him, of course.
You helped make it better?
I kissed it where it hurt.
Let's just skip over that part, shall we? Where was the assistant then?
Oh, her. She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Powers' ankle.
You may continue your testimony.
He broke one of the props. It was a big mess.
This is the one I'm most interested in hearing about. He broke a prop?
Oh, sure did. His own samurai spear.
His samurai spear? The murder weapon?
Luckily, I was there with my duct tape to fix it.
This strikes me as a significant detail. I'd better write this down in the court record. Ah, nice, the murder weapon. A break in the shaft has been mended with duct tape. Okay.
Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad.
Let me press about this one. Was Mr. Powers' ankle badly sprained?
Not so bad that he couldn't walk around. He went to his dressing room to rest up after lunch, thus the nap. Anyway, I saw him dragging his foot when he walked.
Dragging his foot, okay. I think we've heard enough. Haven't we, Your Honor? Well, there is one thing that bothers me, which is... Where is the Steel Samurai costume now? The judge is onto something, methinks. Actually, well, we couldn't find it. We're looking, though. Anyway, that's not important. The witness did see the Steel Samurai, yes. And it is clear that it's the person... that the person is in the Steel Samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers. I suppose that's right. Are you sure? You're sure, Your Honor? Object or wait and see? We're gonna object. Let's not wait and see. Hold it right there. We kept talking possibilities, but we have to agree that this photo shows the Steel Samurai. Nowhere in the photo can we see Mr. Will Powers. The defense has a point. I also wonder if someone else not caught on camera could have killed Mr. Hammer. We have to consider that possibility also. Then allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honor. Will the witness continue their testimony, please?
Oh, no need to ask twice.
Witness testimony.
The time of poor Mr. Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m., true? The only person I saw go into the studio before then was Mr. Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them.
So if no one else went into the studio, then it would have to be the Steel Samurai who did it. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. And that I will. Cross-examination. The time before Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m., true? Should I press on this? I don't know that I'm gonna get any more information. How do you know that?
Didn't I just explain? I gave donuts to the young detective. And then after some rubbish about it being a secret, pal, he told me everything.
I see Detective Gumshoe shares his fellow officer's fondness for donuts.
The only person I saw go into the studio before then was Will Powers. No one else went there.
Oh wait! Didn't the assistant mention that there was someone in the studio? Or she felt like someone was there? What about before you got to the guard station?
Oh, you mean before 1 p.m.? Ah, why everyone is in the employee area before then. And I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Not to mention, if they had, I would have seen them. I don't know about that.
Oldbag? Are you sure? The witness has answered the question. Anyone going into the studio had to pass by the witness.
That's right, Sonny. You let him have it, edgy boy.
Edgy boy?
Old windbag sure has balls, or, well, you know what I mean. Old windbags have a way of... old windbags have a way of skipping over important details, after all. Or, for that matter, entirely forgetting them. How convenient.
Something for you to look forward to, perhaps? Phoenix! The time before Emma's death was 2:30 p.m. True. The only person I saw go into the studio before then was Will Powers. Is this the only one I haven't pressed on? I feel like this is the only one. And then maybe... yeah. Is this it? Are you absolutely sure?
Oh, quite, Sonny. Nobody's suspicious looking passed by at all.
Nobody's suspicious looking, right. Okay, that means I have to do some sort of evidence. So let me look at what I have. Card key to get into the Studio 1, guide map of global studios, time of death. Let me check this really quick, because wasn't there a blockade? There's a gate here. Oh wait, if she locked the gate... Oh, you know what it might be? This is photo number 2. Remember, their other one wasn't able to find. So like, if she was so sure that nobody was there past one or earlier in the day or something, so let me present this. Yes! When the music stops, it really means you're right. Hold on. I clicked out of the game. Look at this photograph one more time. This photo was taken by the camera at the gate for the studios, correct?
Yes, sirree, Sonny.
So whenever anyone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture.
Oh, and here I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground.
Right. Anyway, it's also true that the computer in the guard station records all security cam data.
Oh, you know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening.
That very computer printed out this photo. Note that on the back of the photo are printed the words October 15th, 2 p.m., photo number 2.
Even I know. That means it was taken 2 p.m. on October 15th, really, Sonny.
Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is the bit at the end where it says photo number 2.
Photo number 2.
The computer only held data for one photo that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be photo number 1 if it was really the only photo? It's like, whoa, Phoenix, calm down. Order. Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright. Actually, that's what I want to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not 1 but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet there is only data for one of the photos. Who else could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access. The security lady herself.
Hey,
You watch your mouth, whippersnapper! The only person I saw that day was Will Powers. But the camera on the gate fired twice. That means 2 people went by.
Well, yes, that's what it would seem to mean.
Can the witness explain this to the court?
I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy, help.
Huh? Believe me, I want to, but I don't know what this means either.
Some help you are. You were whippersnapper too.
Whoa. Whippersnapper? Something the matter, Miss Oldbag?
That's right. I just remembered something.
Let me guess. Someone else passed by that gate. Someone other than the Steel Samurai.
Well, yes, I suppose you could put it that way.
I see. Your testimony, please. The judge is getting tired. Witness testimony. The other person.
Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. Come to think of it now, I remember throwing out 1 photo that day.
Miss Oldbag, this is the first I've heard of this.
Well, of course, Sonny, I've only just remembered it.
Right, anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination.
Well, I'd say this was a turn for the unexpected, but I kind of expected this.
Cross-examination. The other person.
Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see.
I'm gonna press on this one. Hold it. How exactly do you determine what isn't suspicious looking?
Oh, you can tell by looking at their faces for the most part.
For the most part? This is a murder trial, Miss Oldbag.
Well, I didn't touch that suspicious-looking Will Powers photo, did I?
I think she's missing the point.
Come to think of it now, I remember throwing out one photo that day.
Let's press on this. Well, who in the heck was in that photo you erased?
A fanboy.
Fanboy?
Steel Samurai fanboys, real freaks, if you ask me. They get information about the rehearsal from gosh knows where. They're always hanging about. There was one there that day.
Objection? Well, wait a second. Didn't you just say no one else could get in?
I locked the main gate so no one could get in.
Those were your words.
Well, if you must know, there's a drain that goes into the employee area.
The grate had been loose for a while. It leads outside, and well, that's where they come in. They come in through the drain?
I told you they were freaks. Oh, and they're kids. Children. Whippersnappers.
Kids? So on the photo that you erased?
It was a boy, probably 2nd or 3rd grade.
What? Order! Order! Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the grate on their way to the studios that day. One was a Steel Samurai dragging his leg. The other was a boy who looked to be about 2nd or 3rd grade.
Oh yes, well, you see we see his type there every day. Can't stop him, can't catch him.
A boy in 2nd or 3rd grade. I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield the samurai spear. Impossible, I think. It's quite heavy.
Right, as I said, I didn't pay him much mind. That's why I erased the data. Nick, what's going on? I mean, the boy was there, that makes him a suspect.
Yeah, and they're already trying to unsuspect him. This court will take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting vital information this time. Nice. October 18th, 11:08 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 3. Mr. Powers. Yes? Tell me straight. Were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio? I didn't go to the studio. I was sleeping, honest.
So who was the Steel Samurai in the security photo?
How should I know? The Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in there and taken it, really.
What? You should take better care of that stuff.
I couldn't imagine anyone who would want to steal. I just started glitching, sorry. Who would want to steal a Steel Samurai costume? So, where does this leave me? Doesn't look so good. You're the only likely suspect right now.
Nick! What are we gonna do?
First, we play for more time. We'll start targeting someone else that could conceivably have done this.
Right. It'll take them so long to shoot us down that we'll get another day.
Right, but if we pick up the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. You don't sound very optimistic. I'm not optimistic at all, actually.
Hey, Nick, it's time.
Okay, let's go. What does that mean? Please don't sign like that. Oh, we're back in court just immediately, okay. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you please present the prosecution's thoughts on this matter? The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studios was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there is still no one else that could have committed this crime. I call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Will Powers. Very well, Mr. Wright, your thoughts? The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claims. There is another person who could have committed this crime. Order. Interesting. Let us hear what you have in mind. However, be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized. Right. Great. As if the stakes weren't high enough. So who was this other person that, other than Mr. Will Powers, that could have committed the murder? The assistant girl, the grade school boy, or the security lady? I think the most likely would be the security lady, even though she might be innocent. I feel like they're gonna defend the grade school boy because they were already talking about that. So I'm gonna go with the security lady and try and accuse her. It was the security lady, Wendy Oldbag.
Who?
The Steel Samurai is dragging his leg in this picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about the morning's injury. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through. There was only one person other than Will Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. The security lady, Oldbag.
What? Oh, you whippersnapper.
Order? Order? Is this true, Oldbag?
Oldbag? That's Miss Oldbag to you.
Miss Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume. Then slipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder. Why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume? Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in his costume, she could point the figure at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright. Oh yeah, right there. Sherlock Holmes #2, baby. That's odd. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Didn't he usually jump up with an objection and some new damning evidence? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? Is he just gonna let Oldbag take the fall? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time.
Oh, what? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, so you all think I did it? Is that it? Edgy boy, don't just sit there and do something!
That's my move. Maybe now's my chance to take this the whole way? Press further or give Granny a bit? Let's press further! Chaos! The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt upon Miss Oldbag's actions on that day.
But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer?
No. You forget that Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive too. Indeed. That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope.
Wait just a minute. What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy, the one whose photo I erased.
He's only a grade schooler though, as you said. 2nd or 3rd grade, was it?
That doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10-second stops.
Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? That boy is not the killer.
What? How can you be so sure? Or is it be nice to the kids and be mean to your elders day, whippersnapper?
I have proof.
What proof?
Indeed. Then let's see this proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed this murder. Is it the photo? The steel, is it the card key? Because you need to have the card key? I'm gonna try presenting this. The scene of the murder, as we all know, was Studio 1. However, you need a card key to enter Studio 1. How could a boy with no former relation to the studios have a card key? I see. Well, would the witness care to comment on this? The Windbag, speechless. This has got to be a first. Very well. This court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Wendy, what was her name? Something Oldbag, Your Honor. Then the prosecution will look further into this Oldbag before we continue. That is all. This court is adjourned. Yippee! We've lived another day.
Oh, wait a second. I'm not just gonna sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me. I'm talking.
Oh, great. Stop the presses. The Windbag wants to talk. Miss Oldbag, what's this about? Have you omitted something from your testimony?
Actually, if you must know, there is something I was told not to talk about.
No, not to talk about? By whom? Huh? You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk? Well, testify. Witness testimony. My lips were sealed.
Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been at the studios that day. But if you're gonna go accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free.
All right, Miss Oldbag. This is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now?
Haven't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told.
No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the Oldbag. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Cross-examination. I'm gonna press on who was there.
Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people there.
Tell me who they were. Who were these people?
Well, the director and the producer, for starters.
The director? We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their action scene without a director? Of course!
Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it.
So, where were these people?
The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime and they had a meeting after that.
Where?
Oh, in the Studio 2 trailer.
Studio 2? There was a Studio 2?
Well, if you look at the guide map, here it is. You go through the gate and all the way to the left. The path where the monkey's head was fallen over. Oh, the path where the monkey's head was fallen over.
Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination? I think I've already asked all my questions, but should I continue? Let's continue. Since it's giving me the option, I feel like I'm missing something. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? How do you know that? Miss Oldbag, this is a trial for murder.
I know that's silly. Still, they were pretty convincing about having nothing to do with it. And they gave me a little bonus on the side.
So you got your bonus and you still talked. I think I've asked all the questions I have to ask. Wait. Phoenix? Why is it giving me the option? Should I just take a break? I guess let's take a break. Your Honor, we have learned there were others at Global Studios on the day in question. The director and the producer and some big wigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is still impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. The court acknowledges the defense's point. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss Oldbag, and more information about these other people we have just been told of. I understand, Your Honor. This ends the day's proceedings and the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. The court is adjourned. Nice. Hey, at least he's innocent for another day, at least. October 18th, 1:04 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask you to defend me.
Ah, really, it's nothing. Oh, or should I say...
We'll be going now to the studios to do some more investigating. We have to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witnesses for certain. So now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination.
So, Nick, we figured out just who was in that Steel Samurai costume. Could it really have been Old Windbag?
What do you think, Mr. Powers? I don't think it was her, really.
Neither do I, Nick.
Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit to take the pressure off Powers. Poor Old Windbag.
I feel kind of sorry for her.
Well, she wasn't winning any points there, with or without my accusation. Okay, let's get down to the studios.
Right, we'll be back to visit you soon.
Thanks, guys. To be continued. All right, that was a little bit of a shorter trial, but as per my regular episodes, I'm going to leave this one here. Hope you guys are enjoying this series. As always, next time we will talk to probably the director and producer, and again, the lovely Miss Windbag, whose voice is actually quite fun to do. On that note, I'm going to say farewell, friends. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, not alone out there, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of Phoenix Wright, AceAttorney. Bye-bye.
Hold it!